Soon, Mono. Soon it will all be over. Anyway, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadow of the Colossus. On the last episode, we defeated number 15. And in this episode, we only got one more to go. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things to do about the Shadow of the Colossus story in this episode because, let's be honest, there hasn't actually been a lot of story. I mean, there has been stuff happening in the background and at the beginning of this game, but I want to talk about it more in depth because this is where things are going to start getting answered and more questions are going to pop up. But before we set off, I just want to do a sit rep on the way that our body looks because, oh yeah, that doesn't look great. Also, I have to sort of weirdly angle the camera. There we go. So yeah, we're a little pale. The light in our eyes is kind of fading. Got some weird black spotches. Also, it doesn't help that we were thrown about, tackled, rammed, battered, bruised, attacked, fell off, many things. We're very battle-worn, but we still gotta do this. There's only one more Colossus that we need to defeat, and it is the largest when it stands tall. Phalanx is actually technically the largest, but Phalanx is very long. This Colossus is by far the largest when it stands tall, and it's at the very, very south of the map. Right there. However, we are actually going to be taking a little bit of a detour, because there's one thing I forgot to show off in episode 13 when I was talking about Eco and other games in the game world. But before that, I want to talk about the story of Shadow of the Colossus, because we don't actually have a lot of information right now. And this was about the part of the game when I first played it, when I started realizing something's up, something's wrong. Not only when I kill a Colossus does a dove appear, which is a symbol of peace, which I noticed the first time around. Not only does it appear that there are people coming to stop me from what I'm doing. Makes sense, it is very heavily implied that I stole the ancient sword, so okay. But it's also the fact that my body is literally getting corrupted. Like, that's the biggest sign to me of all. And then I started asking many questions, like, why the hell should I trust Dorman? Like, what do I have to go on? It's a metaphysical being that is just existent in this forbidden land that promises to resurrect a girl that Wanda cares about if I happen to destroy 16 Colossus. You know, it's at this point where I started asking many questions, like, why do you want me to kill the 16 Colossus? It was very clear at this point, at least to me, that they were peaceful creatures. I invade their homes, and I really kill them when they're not really hurting anything. They're just sort of living their life. So, why do you want me to kill them, Dorman? And then other questions started popping up, like, I remembered back to the first part of the game where I was like, okay, this girl had a cursed fate. What was the cursed fate? Like, that's never gone into detail. There are actually a few theories. One of them I can't speak about because it's actually a bit of a spoiler. But the other two I can definitely at least mention. One is that she was to take part in a resurrection of Dorman, which the credence to that theory is that people used to obviously live here, and if we were to assume that it was the people that it was Wanda's people like generations ago, they must have known what Dorman was because they lived in the same land that Dorman existed, and maybe they worshipped Dorman, and there may be some believers who still believed in Dorman wanted to resurrect Dorman, and she was part of the ritual. That makes a lot of sense to me. But then you got another theory, which is linking to Eco, which I can actually make relevant because the place we're going is also a reference to Eco, and that is she was to be crowned queen because in Eco. Ooh, oh jeez, sorry aggro, that was still a little bit of a tough fall. Oh god, I'm sorry, buddy. You really went for it, though. Jesus. But, because the queen in... the girl that you, lead in Eco is actually, very, very reminiscent of, Mono. And I don't want to go too much into detail about some things because, again, spoilers, but... I know it's like a 13-year-old game, technically, but still, you gotta be careful of these things. But anyway, the thing I actually wanted to point to is down here, because, for anyone who's played Eco, you can actually see the beach where part of the game took place. I know it's a very, very small Easter egg. I think it's right here? I think it's that beach. I don't think you can actually get down there, which kind of sucks, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, you can actually, you know, cross-reference the two games and find the exact point, and that means that the game took place here. Eco, that is. And Eco is a sequel to this game, so it links them together, which I think is nice. Also, the third theory about why Mono was killed also links back to Eco, but like I said, spoilers. We can talk about it a little bit later. See, this is what I love about this game. Like, it doesn't give you everything. There's no, like, objective on the screen which is like, hey, kill the evil Colossuses, or Colossi even, to resurrect your lover/sister. It's very vague, and it made me ask questions, because it also plays on, you know, usual video game expectations. Like, of course I need to kill the giant evil Colossuses. They're the boss. I keep on saying Colossuses. It's Colossi. That's the, plural. But, it's... You know, it plays with you and your usual gaming conventions. And I knew that going up to Malice, who is the 16th Colossus. But I had to press forward, because that's what Wanda wanted. Like, you know, am I playing the bad guy right now? Because I guess he took the ancient sword from his tribe and he went to the Forbidden Land? I don't think, you know, I don't think Wanda's a bad guy. He just wants to save the girl that he loved who had a cursed fate. And he was willing to do some very, very risky things to do that. I don't think that makes him a bad guy, just a misguided one. It's very interesting. I love games that tell you enough, but let you infer your own things, and, you know, sometimes there doesn't have to be an answer. A lot of people, you know, online like to have a definitive answer, like, no, this is what happened. And, you know, I like definitive answers too, but sometimes you just need to think on some things. Also, I think, yeah, we're going right to that rock over there. Malice is waiting for us. And we need to get the deed done. So, we're looking for a big open... not open, sorry, a big closed stone door. And it is embedded in the rock over there somewhere, so we need to go find it. Take one last look at this beautiful plane. Because it's the last time we're gonna see it. Come a long way, buddy. Just got one more thing we need to do. Okay, it's not over there. I think I have to go around the rock a little bit more. God, I'm so looking forward to seeing what they did with Malice. I mean, I was excited to see what they did with most of Colossus, but this one in particular, because of the setting, the mood, and when it happens, the music. It's going to be quite something. Damn it, eagles. I don't want to go for you. Not right now. Anyway. This is the door. You just stand here. Hold aloft a sword. And open the way. Let's go, aggro. Oh god. Jeez. You figured that after a whole game of horse riding I would be able to not steer you into a wall. Ah, jeez. And over here, we have our very last save shrine. I think I've actually gotten every single save shrine in the game. At this point. I said I would do a lot of the exploring and finding fruit off screen, which I did. And we should be able to see what my health and grip bar are going to be going in. That's what it looks like, and that is plenty. You don't even have to get all of the fruit and lizard tails for a playthrough. You can completely and utterly beat this game without them. It's just... I don't know, it's just a nice extra. That's another question I want answered. Why the hell do white lizard tails give me extra grip, but regular lizard tails don't? That's a lore question for the ages. Also, don't do this crap with me right now, white-tailed lizard. I'm literally at the end. I swear to Christ. Oh god. Ah, jeez. Oh, man. Girls are watching because my horse is literally a girl. Swear to Christ, white-tailed lizard, do not ruin this moment for me. Stay there, you son of a... There we go. One more lizard trip. Lizard trip. One more lizard tail for the trip home. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go aggro. This is also the last piece of civilization that we'll see, or at least hints of civilization. With the stone steps. Makes me wonder what the people did here. Was it just living? Was it worship? Who knows? Alright, aggro. Get ready. Let's go. God, I knew that was coming and it still hurts. Our only friend in this lonely land. And she's gone. I spoke a few episodes ago about theming. This game has a theme, at least to me, when I play it. And it will become more evident as we play through this episode, but it's definitely the theme of a fight for absolutely nothing. That's all I'm going to say for now. But Even though our friend is gone, we have to press ever onward. Also, I have to remember where I have to climb up, because I honestly cannot remember. I think I went past it. Oh, jeez. First time I played that game, or this game even, I was absolutely devastated. God, I couldn't even imagine being the only human or living creature in this world anymore. Okay, I think we just climb up here. Although I guess that's not technically true. There is one other creature here. One that we must destroy. Let's see. This doesn't feel right. I think it was over here. Yeah, here we go. Yep. I mentioned it before, but I like the feeling and the sound of just rain in the distance. It's a very calming sound to me. Don't know why I mentioned it here, it just seemed appropriate. Best friend just died. Just needed that little bit of comfort, I suppose. Alright, Wanda. Yeah. Get up here. I know some people would say, oh, it's silly, you're getting way too invested, or how do you get so invested, but I think that means that this game truly succeeded in what it set out to accomplish if I'm this invested emotionally. And I'm okay with that. But anyway, enough talk about feelings and emotional investment. Because Malice is right around the corner up here. And I need to take him down. Hello, Malice. So, Malice stands at an impressive 196 feet and easily weighs over 850 tons, and I had to say that information while standing behind here because Malice will shoot projectiles at you, and they hurt a lot. Ugh. This one's going to be a bit of a gauntlet. Ugh. But we need to get to him. Finish this. Alright. I mentioned before how I was feeling something wasn't wrong around this point, up to the lead up to Malice, and it was definitely this point when this music started that I was like, this isn't, something's wrong. Because this isn't triumphant. This isn't a triumphant boss theme. This is something haunting. This is something that isn't well. Killing all those Colossus. You know, it's that feeling of, what the hell am I doing this for? Save Mono, right? Saving Mono based on a possibly empty promise? Ugh. Just didn't sit well with me. And it still doesn't sit well with me. So if you haven't guessed, the sigil that we're trying to get on Malice is of course on top of his head. So you're probably wondering, how the hell do we get to that? Well, we're still on the first half of this fight, which is actually getting to Malice. And then the fun part is when we have to do the second part, which is climbing him. Because even that can be considered a gauntlet. Also, I forgot to hold a direction. It's been a while since I've had to do that. Alright. Go, go, go! Thankfully, there's a lot of underground passages that we can use. I just love the effect. He's still trying to get us even underground, and just the shaking and rumbling. It's got a nice tenseness to it. Alright, alright. It's getting desperate now. Just need to get to the side. Right. Just need to get up there now. Go! Ah, shit! Come on, Wanda! Get up! Maybe I'll try going down here instead. I think I made the exact same mistake playing the first time. I just saw the steps and I'm like, I can make that, I can do it, but no. This path leads directly below Malice. Even though we are directly under him, don't think for a second that this fight is over, because he can still screw you over if you're not careful. Alright, I need a place to climb. Don't think... We might actually do it on the inside. Yeah, we do. God, I'm getting so many memories of this first time doing this fight. Getting to this behemoth of a creature. Thinking, how the hell did they do this on a PlayStation 2 back in the day? As I said before, the haunting music in the background. Just, yeah, absolute masterwork. You also have to be careful because I think the wind does play an effect right here, and it can throw you off if you're not careful. I know I've mentioned it so many times before, but god damn, this remake makes this scene look so good. Alright, it's getting a little bit tougher. Did I grab on right here? Okay, yes I can. Alley up! Alright. We have to be very careful not to fall off Malice, because that's pretty much death. I mean, I got a pretty large health bar, but even I think that I will die if I fall off at this height. Alright. He's only got one major weak point, but he does have 3 minor ones that we need to take care of, and the first one's right here. So let's stab him in the back. So Malice is actually one of the most intelligent Colossus, because he actually tries to... He doesn't, like, struggle about. He actually tries to reach back there and, like, get you off his hand. Which I find pretty fascinating, because that shows a little bit more intelligence than what we're used to. Also, holy crap, needs to get to the second minor sigil! Oh god. Right here, on his arm. We can't get past those gauntlets, so... we need to manipulate him in a way that we can use. again, I love this fight because it's very gauntlet-like, and you actually have to use every single tool at your disposal. Your climbing, your sword, and right now, our arrow, because he's got a weak point right there. Climb, Wanda, climb. Jump! Oh, crap. Alright, alright, alright. Now we just have to not fall off. Oh, jeez. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. Come on, it's right there. I got a big grip meter, so I should be good, but I need to still be careful. Now at this point, he will start trying to toss about because, well, we're kind of in an indentation, and if he tries to get his hand up there, he could possibly just crush his own head with the weight of his hand. Also, possibly those gauntlets hurt him. It's not entirely clear on that respect. Come on, stop thrashing about, damn you! Ugh. So close! Just need a few more good stabs! Keeping an eye on my grip meter, keeping an eye on my grip meter. I swear to Christ, Manus. I will end you! Ugh. If I can get one more good stab. Ugh. Damn it. Come on, grip, don't fail me now. I got all of those lizards for a reason. Oh, crap. Come on. Ugh. It's over. You know what that means? Ugh.
abang-abang ro. Yondik yarar aula ulong ka. Yakum ku aik isif. Irom de cake lutu. No sus if kaf iwo. Was I latiku? Ik was eu. You want to lie luludo. Leka kilo idiom. Ilmuzum omoro ruyutu. Akif. What is I don't ikon karika. Always yurkutu.
So the truth has come to light. We were being used this entire time. It's just a way to resurrect Dorman. Dorman was segregated into 16 parts. And we, by killing those 16 parts, gave him the power as a way to use our body as a vessel to be brought back to life. I am still technically Wonder right now, so that is why I'm able to control this monstrosity. And even after all that, Dorman did not make good on its promise. You truly are a corrupted being. Dorman is a little bit ungodly to control, I must admit. Oh, no you don't. You think you can get away from me? In a last-ditch effort, in order to try and seal away Dorman, Lord Aman throws the ancient sword into the pool. And due to Dorman being merged with Wanda's body, he gets pulled in too. No matter how hard we try to fight it, no matter how hard we try to get towards Mono, he gets sucked in. And that is Shadow of the Colossus. But it's not quite over yet, because we have a whole bunch of stuff that we need to talk about, so... I mentioned before that I thought the theme of this game, to me, it's the fight for nothing. You fight over these Colossus, you get to the ending based on an empty promise, and then after all that, Wanda gets sucked into the purifying pool, and gets sealed along with Dormin. But the worst part about all that is, in the end, Dormin actually made good on its promise. It actually did resurrect Mono. Not only that, but Agro actually survived as well. But unfortunately, Wanda wasn't around to see either of those things, which is an extremely bittersweet sadness to me. I find some points about the ending very interesting. I find it interesting that when Lord Aman throws the sword into the pool, he looks confused about what happened, which makes me think that he didn't actually know what was going to happen. He just sort of did it out of sheer, desperation. So it had a consequence which he was not expecting. I also like that during the whole time, you're still technically in control of Wanda. He is technically Dormin at that point, so it's not like you shift control. It's you playing Wanda being consumed by Dormin and merged with Dormin. There are also many different theories about why Wanda was sucked in as well. The most common one being that since he was merged with Dormin, and since the sword was thrown into the purifying pool, it sucked all of the impurity out of him, but since they were merged together at that point, he had to go in as well, since he couldn't just separate himself from Dormin completely. At that point, they were both one being, and as one being, they had to go in together. But our story isn't quite over yet, since something amazing is about to happen. One point that I'd like to infer is that Mono would know who Agro is because Mono knew Wanda. So it seems as if at this point Agro is actually leading Mono towards the place where Wanda is located. And inside the pool is a truly remarkable sight. I said before that a popular theory is that the impurities of Dormin were taken out of Wanda and were sucked into the pool, and since they were merged together, Wanda as he was, had to get sucked in as well. However, it seems as though when he was submerged into the cleansing pool, all of the impurities within his body were cleansed at once, so he was reformed back to the most pure state that a human could be, which is as an infant child. Blissful and ignorance to the evils of man. It also seems as if Agro is leading Mono at this point out of the temple and up these stairs, which you may have seen right at the beginning of the game on the side when Wanda goes into the sanctuary. It's not entirely clear why Agro would know to go up here. I'm going to bet it on animal instinct. But at the top, they find a beautiful place, segregated from the rest of the Forbidden Land. It's also worth noting at this point, Wanda, who has been returned back to an infant, actually has horns, and that is the link to the main character of Eco, who also has horns. And horns are obviously a residue of being combined with Dormin. But in the secret garden, this is where Mono will take care of Wanda and Agro, and quite possibly wait for Wanda to grow back up and then have children, which will lead into the events of Eco. Unlike the rest of Forbidden Land, the secret garden is lush, it's full of life, full of animals. And it's beautiful. Much like this game is to me. I have to say, guys, I really enjoyed doing this LP. I'm glad that I can mark it down as finally done on my channel. I said right at the beginning of this project that I wanted to do Shadow of the Colossus as one of the first LPs, as it was a game that is very dear to me, and I'm so glad that I got to play a remake of it, because it let me experience the game entirely over again in a completely new way. This game's important to me because, you know, it shows that a game could be something more. It could have, you know, significance. It can have... It can be beautiful, and it can, you know, make me think about things, and I'm happy and glad that it made me did. And if it wasn't for this game, I probably wouldn't have expanded my horizons and searched out for other games. I would have stayed in my comfort zone and not tried to expand my horizons. So I'm so glad I got to share that with you. Sorry. The memories are flooding back to the feelings of when I first beat this game. And I hope tons of people get to experience it at some point. Maybe a little bit of a hypocrite saying the word experience, considering I said I don't like it, but I'll let it slide this one time. But yeah, if you enjoyed this LP, and I really hope you did enjoy this LP, I'm not going to stop anytime soon. I got tons of games that I want to cover, tons of projects for the future. So with that, I'll see you next time. Next LP, and hopefully it'll be just as special as this one to me. See you guys then.